I always feel like I'm in a little bubble here. I guess I am. What's the difference between someone who better get ready to start enjoying baked beans versus someone who's going to have the luxury of being able to choose a banquet that they want to eat from, or they travel the globe enjoying their dream retirement? Hi, my name's Trevor Russell. Thanks for checking in. I know the example's a bit extreme, but it's not too far from the truth when I share some numbers with you. And I know it's a little bit of a boring topic, but what I've done here in this short video presentation is to open the door to what I see every day in my role, where I talk to people about how they can invest in property, use a self-managed super fund to build 5 and 6 figure retirement incomes. It's not for everyone. But what I can see is this information that a lot of people are wanting to know is simply not out there. So what I've done is I've taken the time to put this short presentation together, and I've got a guide that I've written that can walk through all the specifics of the tax and the boring implications and what to do and what not to do in the guide, and I'll tell you about how to get a copy of that. But in this presentation, I want to give you some insights and some little tricks and secrets around what people are doing to build 5 and 6 figure incomes in their self-managed super fund to have a beautiful, more comfortable, sleep well at night retirement. So let's jump in and let's have a look, shall we? All righty. I want to double check first that this is going to be worth your time. Are you curious? Are you curious to learn more about how everyday people are setting up self-managed super funds and investing in property to build millions of dollars in property asset value with 5 and 6 figure tax-free incomes? Yes, could be of interest. What about how to overcome these thoughts that can come to us, these fears, these doubts that can happen to our loving partner who we want to do something here and build financial freedom for retirement, but the partner's afraid, let's put it off, there's so much going on at work, and we want to get through that. So what about having some information that they can review and understand that makes this topic simple about how to use self-managed super funds and property investments in the fund as part of your wealth building, retirement building plan? Today, we're just having a look. There's nothing other than just being curious and having a look. And what about self-managed super fund property investing that you can share with, yes, your partner or your accountant or someone that's important to you, that their feedback matters, and decide if self-managed super fund property investing is right for you and for your family and your retirement plans? Again, this is just an opportunity to take a look, nothing more than just learning more about it and opening the door to the possibilities. Starting your self-managed super fund property investing journey with the support and a plan so you have the clarity and confidence for how to reach your income-rich retirement goals. Of course, I'm here to engage people, to explore if and how we can assist them. No pressure either way. But what I find is why a lot of people are stuck in this area is because financial planners can't talk about property investing. Well, most of them can't, because it's not how their license works. And while we're not here to talk and give financial advice, this is for education, and this leads on to our disclaimer, which is this is for education purposes only. It's just general advice. It does not consider your personal financial circumstances, and it does not consider any government or other related benefits to your individual situation. Me, the presenter, and our team and related parties and entities we're not liable for any of the decisions and actions that someone takes from this information. Please consult your financial advisor, accountant, if any of this feels relevant and helpful to you and you want to know more. Or if you don't have someone to talk to, we have a team of accountants, financial planners, and experts that can talk through this with you in more detail to determine if this is relevant to your individual financial situation and circumstances. So yes, now that we've got that out of the way, what we're going to do here today is open the door in really simple, fun, quirky ways. And yes, I'm just doing this video in a relaxed way, and I'm going to fumble here and there because I just want to give you the honest and open information around this very important topic that I think so many people can benefit from, to demystify this whole area that a lot of people aren't talking about, but very, very important for people's retirement and wealth building plans. And that's what I really want from this presentation, which I want you to leave with. Okay, so what are we going to cover off on this journey to building your self-managed super fund, retirement, income plan, goals, whatever it is that you're here that's got your attention, the journey that we're going on. And I'll move my head around as we go through this short presentation, but the journey that we can go on to say that we did it, because we're just starting here. We don't need to do the whole journey. We're just looking at where we can start to go to the next stage and next stage. Like anything that we learn, you don't have to get to the end. You just have to start. So why are more people choosing to go to a banquet versus eating baked beans in their retirement? What else are we going to talk about? Who's setting up self-managed super funds to build their retirement wealth? What does it look like where we compare $180,000 in a self-managed super fund property investment versus a standard employer super fund? What do the comparisons look like? Why can waiting to have more dollars in your super actually lose you money? Interesting, right? You'd want to know about that. And what's helpful to know to be a successful self-managed super fund property investor is building your retirement wealth using a self-managed super fund property investment right for you. We'll look at helping you understand for yourself if this is of benefit to you or not, and at least you just know the information after you complete this short training presentation. How to build your retirement wealth and income using a self-managed super fund. And what I've done is I've put this information into a guide, as I've said, and I'll talk to you when we get to that point about getting a copy of this guide. And it's just really easy to understand. I've just kept it very simple, non-finance terms, so all of us can benefit from this information, or someone that you know, family or friends, that this could be of interest to them also. And what we'll also talk about is getting you a copy of the Self-Managed Super Fund Property Investment Income Incubator. Do you like that? It's what we can do to use as a tool if and when we speak, to go through and run some numbers just to gauge what it could look like for you to set up and invest in property, and how and if it could assist you in your long-term retirement income building plans, and comparing that to your employer super fund. Even if you had both, what would your figures look like? And I think this is the other very important thing, and why I'm really passionate about this topic, is giving people an understanding of how they can achieve the end goal. Because when I speak to a lot of people about this topic of investing in a super fund, buying property, and I ask them, what is the end goal? What do you want? Do you want $2 million in property asset, 3 million, 5 million, $50,000 income, 100,000, 300,000? What is the end goal? And you're probably not surprised at this, but most people can't answer that question. So what we do is we want to work backwards and say, well, okay, if we couldn't fail and we could achieve and plan a way to have $200,000 rental income coming in from your self-managed super fund property investments, what would we need to do? What would we need to do working back to make that goal a reality? And that's what I love mapping out. Now, is it foolproof? No. Is it guaranteed? No. But as the saying goes, a good plan implemented and known is better than the perfect plan that is never. And that's something I'm really passionate about. And I'll share with you in this short presentation on how the plan looks as a starting point to get you thinking about the possibilities, what you can actually achieve here. So let's continue on. All right. Why are more people choosing to go to a banquet versus eating baked beans in their retirement? In other words, why are more people choosing to look at their options of investing in property and taking charge of their super versus following the standard super employee model that is actually, as you'll see in the numbers, is not leaving a lot of people enough money to have a financially free retirement? Let's have a look at it. Up to 80% of Australians aged between 65 and 69 have a total cash value in superannuation of less than $500,000 at the time of retirement. And this was as of June 2021 in the updated on superannuation account balance report. The link I can send you. But in there, just to get to the, I guess, meat of the data, men aged between 60 and 64 would have on average $211,000. Women 60 to 64, $158,000 in super, which highlights the fact that our superannuation system needs to be looked at, and you would benefit from at least knowing your options as to what you can do, because your super money is your money. And if I've still got your attention, and while an uncomfortable thing to consider, and please don't run from this because I've got better news coming, for people even with $500,000 in their super account at 65, if they were to live for 30 years, that's $16,000 a year to live off. So someone better get comfortable at eating baked beans or saving one's loose change to be able to figure out how to buy a coffee, because this is not working. This is not working for people. And I respect super fund companies. They're doing their best. They've got regulations to follow, and employers doing their best to help provide a super fund service to their employees. However, what I want you to understand is that you have options, and at least it's good to know your options, that even if you diversified, that you can create more money, more income to have a more comfortable, fulfilling, sleep well at night retirement. And that's what I want for you. Let's have a look at that. Let's keep moving. The good news is you're doing something now. After you learn if investing in property in a super fund is right for you, when you start with your first self-managed super fund property, as you've learnt anything, you'll learn. It's a learning process. And now you get to enjoy the retirement you dreamt of only a few years back, right? Because this is the thing. When someone starts on a journey, it's a start. It doesn't mean they need to know everything, right? But while we've tried to depict here a couple that has gone on because they started now and they got to enjoy a retirement income later, to have a really nice income from their property investments to fund their retirement. And even if it's not quite this figure for you personally, if this ends up being something that we can help you with, what if it was even half of that or 3/4 of that? And for the right people, this is not for everyone. I'll go through and help clarify who would benefit and be able to benefit from self-managed super fund investments versus someone who is probably not so suited for. Doing something to get something better is waiting to do something perfect but never doing anything. And this is something that is so important to get across, that if someone puts this off that could benefit, and this is why I'm doing this presentation, because it breaks my heart to see what people are doing to put this off. They think they're putting us off because we charge fees to help people set up their super fund, go find the property, do the accounting, do it all. They're avoiding us because they think, oh, we've got to give them money. And we're no $20,000 or anything like that, not even 15,000, anything like that. But what they're actually doing is they're putting off their own financial freedom. They're putting off their own peace of mind in the future. So please think about, if this is important to you, that investing a bit of time and a bit of money, if it's right for you, and I'm going to help you know more about if this is right for you through this short presentation, please don't let fear stop you. Please take a look, take a step, go to the next step, because this is so doable for so many people who are taking the steps to make this a reality, to have a comfortable, financially free retirement. All right, let's have a look at who's using self-managed super funds to invest in property to retire with 5 and 6 figure incomes. That'd be nice, right? Well, it's very possible. Who are they? Who are they? They are, and it's a good check for you here, they are employed or self-employed, generally between the ages of 35, 58 on average. However, many are younger and some are more mature, because even some people that already have retired, that have got a super fund, can still benefit in many ways from tax-free income and other benefits of self-managed super funds. Not for this presentation, it's in the guide, but that's the general age bracket. Tick, yeah. The next thing is they have at least $80,000 in an employee super fund. So really, to make property investing work, it would be my recommendation that you consider having that you've got at least 80. It's better to have more, upwards of 100, and I'll go through some numbers with you. But that would be my suggestion, is if you've got more than 80 to 100, you're in these other areas, ticking these other areas, this is opening the door, if you haven't already looked into this, to really benefit from building an income-rich retirement using property. All right, what else? They have a goal to have income to fund their retirement. What do I mean by that? I mean that with a standard employee fund, which you may already know this, you accumulate a bundle of money, but when it comes to retirement, you're now going to have to draw down that money, as they call an annuity. So in other words, you're spending the money you've accumulated. But as we'll look in a moment at the numbers, when that money runs out, and if you're still alive, well, you got the pension, but is that going to be enough to be able to do what you want to do, to have a better quality retirement? So these guys, they have a goal to have an income-rich retirement. And this is the other thing with self-managed super fund property investing. It's wonderful to own your home, but it doesn't derive income unless you want to start renting rooms out, right? Or do an Airbnb, excuse me. It's an asset. We want income. It's income that creates freedom. Or you've got to sell assets and use the capital maybe to invest. But let's not get into all of that right now. It's about income. They want income. It's their money, and they have the right to invest it more effectively. This is another thing we'll talk about with super money. A lot of people don't consider it real money. They don't take it seriously. We speak to people and we say, so how much have you got in super? And they go, I don't even know. I mean, this is your money. You're working for this, and you have the opportunity, following the rules, to be able to invest the money to get a better result. And that's what we're doing here, and we're showing you, right? And that's why you're here. Go you. They want to put their super money to better use to have more money and income when they retire. It's similar to the other point. They want assets that are going up in value, and often people we speak to, they want to have money to leave to their kids or in case of emergency, right? So in other words, if something happens and you've got pool of money that you can access and income, what a fun, nicer way to have retirement than just drawing down your money and you're thinking, oh my God, I don't want to get sick. Because if we have to pull out $30,000, that's a big chunk of your money gone, right? So you want money flowing in. And I'll show you how to do that. Okay. The wonderful thing about self-managed super fund investing too is there's many tax advantages to it. And you can have a tax-free income and a lot of other benefits that are in the guide. I'll touch on a little bit of this, but I just want to keep this big picture really simple, fun and easy for our short presentation here, okay? But there's a lot of other tax benefits that come with self-managed super fund property investing. And I think most importantly, it's important to know that, excuse me, I'll move my head, is these guys are willing to learn and to invest some time now so they can have more money and peace of mind and time later to enjoy their retirement. So they're willing to invest some time now. Yes, I know you got the kids, you got the job, you got soccer, you've got all that stuff, you got the gate to fix, but they're willing to find the time now to get the help now and invest and learn and get things moving. Because once a fund is set up and a property is set up, after that, it kind of runs itself to a large degree. It's just in the beginning. But they do that so they have more time and money later to enjoy retirement versus those who put it off thinking that we'll do it later. And wait until I show you the cost of waiting. For every year, the cost of waiting, wait until I show you that. That'll wake you up as it did me. All right, so let's move on. Okay. Drum roll. It's numbers time. Yep. We can't not go through self-managed super fund property investing and not look at the numbers. If you're already still with me at this point, well done. Most people apparently, they say now can't focus and concentrate for more than a minute or something. But clearly, if you're here with me, this is important to you and well done because this is very important. But if it's not numbers, the numbers are not your thing, go watch the cat video. If it's calling you and enjoy that, or if you want to jump to the end, you can. But if you are wanting to see the numbers and you're curious and go, Trevor, I wonder what these numbers are that you're talking about, go you, because the numbers, well, I've worked to keep them really simple, and that's what we can help you with, is to keep the numbers simple. You want to do this? We'll go through the numbers, see the projections, see what you can achieve. Yes, do this. All right, gotcha. Let's do it. All right. Let's look at a simple scenario. Now, before I go through this, again, these are projections only. These are not going to be anything that dictates that you do this and telling you what to do. I'm just giving you an example of what a projected potential return could look like by investing in property in super versus keeping one's money in a standard employee super fund. Okay, so let's have a look at the scenario. We have a couple with a combined $180,000 in super, and they make a total annual income of $190,000, and they receive an 11% employer super contribution into their super every year. Yeah. So let's look at the numbers. Over here, we've got the house. We've got them having set up a super fund, and they've got $180,000 to access to buy a $500,000 house. Yes, we know where there's $500,000 houses. And yes, we know where you can achieve a $620 a week rent for a $500,000 house. And I've worked on a 7% annual growth rent increase every year, which is, if you do any research, it's a standard conservative rental increase each year, and a projected 15 years to look at our projections, working on an 8% average annual growth. This property would be worth around $1.586 million. with a rental income of $88,951 a year before any costs. Yeah? Nice result, right? Now, this is the other thing. Highlights the benefits of holding property for the long term. Yeah? So you've now got an asset worth 1.5. You've used your money to leverage the growth of your self-managed super fund funds to build your asset base to 1.5 and generate and create an $88,000 a year rental income. Okay, nice result. Now, here's the beauty of property investing in a super fund. Property keeps going up in value and rent keeps going up in value. So if you're good with your budget and the numbers work, and we can help with that, this keeps coming in, right? This rent keeps coming in and this keeps going up. So this is something that you can keep accessing. Rent keeps coming in the next month and the next month and the next month. You're not dwindling down your capital, okay? Now let's look over here. Employee super fund, 180,000, 11% per year with a $16,000, 11 of that is 11% of their income is 16,000. And after insurances, so we've got 15 years. Now, I've worked on a 3% annual return, not prospectus return, not displayed return, real return after costs. And you can look into that, but I'm working on a 3% for this example. Even if it's 5%, whatever, it's not going to make a huge difference in the long run. We have 669,000 as an account balance versus a growing asset of 1.5, 88,000 income. Now, here's the thing. This has to be spent and goes down. So as you spend this, after your contribution is over, this goes down. This you will own in about 17 years, I think it is, and this keeps going up. You don't need your contribution anymore to make this work, whereas this, once that stops, this goes down. And this is the concerning part of our super system for those who are just in this space alone. Yeah? All right. How can a self-managed super fund property offer growing retirement income? Good question. If you want to know. Do you want to know? Yeah? You want to know? Say, tell us, Trevor. All right, I'll tell you. All right. So let's have a look. Let's move me over here. We have got, I'll just make this a little smaller. There we go. All right. So we've got a house at 500,000, 8% yearly growth, 15 years, property value of 1.5 with 620 rent, 7% average growth, 15 years. This will grow to 1,700 a week rent over this period, 88,951 rental income. How does that happen? How does that happen? That keeps going up. The self-managed super fund money is acquiring an asset that goes up in value. Houses keep going up in value. The self-managed super fund money is acquiring an asset that has an income off it that goes up. Rent keeps going up. The employer contribution while you're receiving it and the rent and tax refund that you get, because this is a tax-deductible investment in your super fund, helps to pay off the debt. That's why owning a property in a self-managed super fund can happen a lot sooner, because you don't just have rental income coming in, you've got your income, employer contribution coming in also, and any tax return benefits coming in to help pay that debt off sooner so you own the property outright. That's one of the other benefits. And as it's your fund and money, you control what you invest in the fees and charges. Unlike an employer fund, you have no control over that. What they charge and what they take out, they dictate. But while you've got some learning to do here, you can control the asset. And the only people, as I'll show you, that you're paying are the accountant for the auditing, your property manager, your loan, but you control the asset. That's the difference, right? It's your investment. Let's move on. Helpful? Interesting, right? Very interesting. All right. Well done. You still with me? Yes? Good job. So that was some of the numbers, But let's have a look here. Let's stretch because we just did a lot. Let's take a breather. Okay, I might make the little head here a little bigger so I can see you. Smile. This is easy, right? It's not that hard, is it? See, you can learn. Smile, because smiling makes it easier. And I'd like you to say to yourself, how interesting. How interesting is this? I don't know it all yet, but how interesting is this that I'm now learning more about how to invest in property in a self-managed super fund? It's new, but you're getting it, right? Say to yourself, it's new, but I'm getting it. See, if we talk to ourselves in more supportive, easier to understand, caring, nurturing ways with a lighthearted attitude, it takes all the heaviness out of what a lot of people go, oh, it's too hard, too scary, I don't want to look at it. This is easy. It's easy. We can help you make it easy. Say to yourself, it's easy, Trevor. It's easy. Okay. God, I look like I've got a bit of sunburn going on there. I think I've been at the beach too much. All right. Shall we keep going? Yes? Okay, let's do this. Let's have a drink. Now, we do have a few more numbers here, but we're almost done. Thank you for staying. I hope you're finding this helpful and informative. And have a think about how would you enjoy your retirement? If you went and did this and we got this going for you, what will you do to celebrate for going and doing something to make a difference to your retirement and income? That's something good to think about, right? Okay, so what we're going to do here is have a look at what waiting can cost someone by wanting to have more in their super to start as opposed to someone who has less but can make more money in the long run. All right, so let's have a look here. Now, the number that gets thrown around sometimes when we speak to people is they'll see on ASIC, which it's suggested that someone should have at least 500,000 in their super fund to make it work for them financially, which I'll explain in here why ASIC would do that to make sure people are protected, not putting themselves into unnecessary risk. However, I would like to open the door to give you a different perspective of what you could do to start with less but get a better return if you follow the rules. And there's some simple rules to follow, but you can do it. If you can get a job, you can ride a bike, you went to school, you can do this. It's not that hard. It's just knowing what to do, okay? So let's have a look at why they say that. They say you've got $500,000 in a super fund. You have, so you've gone and set up a super fund, a self-managed super fund with the accountant, and you've put $500,000 in there. Now, what they're saying is, they're saying if you were to invest this in a standard employer type super fund, a managed fund, it would make sense why they would propose this. But we're going to look at an alternative to use some of your super money, or maybe even all of it, to diversify into property. And the numbers will look very different. So this person, they've gone and rolled over their 500,000 into their self-managed super fund. They're making 130K a year. They've got 11% contribution, and they are getting after costs around 3% on their fund. Yeah. So they're going to make around $15,000 from their investment. Now, they're going to pay their annual auditing fees. They've probably got some other bits and pieces from their fund that could be coming out. Insurances. I know insurance. You can still pay your own your life insurance through your own super fund. So let's say you've got your insurance coming out, and then you're going to pay tax. You pay tax on your contribution and income in a self-managed super fund up until retirement. After retirement, you don't pay the tax. It's tax-free. And it's in the guide explaining all of that. But you're going to pay some tax. And now this minus this has done the job. ASIC wants to make sure that you can pay all your expenses and still make a return on your super fund, which is great, right? So you're making a bit of money, $7,000 a year. I'd like to invite you to consider that we can do better than that. This is not for everyone, by the way. This works for some people and wonderful. However, let's have a look at an alternative, at least so you know, all right? Oh, by the way, in 15 years, this would be worth about $1,044,000 projected at a 3% return after your tax and costs, okay? All right, so now let's have a look at what we can do over here. Oh, and what I've done up here is 35 to 65. As you can appreciate, most people that have probably upwards of 2, 3, 4, 500,000 are a little bit along in years, right? Not saying 65 is old or anything, but they got less time, right? Now, as you may have heard, money and time have a very, very important relationship. The more time we can invest something over a longer period gives us a better return, relevant to where we put it, of course. Let's say someone, even if they start earlier, yeah, so a bit earlier, or even if they start here, look at what happens with using less money to achieve a higher result. I'll just pop this over here. They've got $180,000, same salary, same contribution. They use $160,000 to purchase a $550,000 investment property in their super fund. Now look at the difference. They've leveraged that money by buying an asset that goes up in value and is generating a growing income. So now they have a $1.7 million house and they have an $88,000 income. Right? Do you get that? Do you get the difference? Less money in, but high money at the end, because the asset is a capital appreciating, rental appreciating asset versus a fund. No disrespect, the fund plays its role, but just to give you an indication of the difference, gives this investor a far greater opportunity to achieve a higher growth and return on their money. This versus this is almost $700,000 more in asset value that goes up and a rental income that is non-existent on this side, right? So again, something to consider if you're looking at ways to build an income-rich, more financially free retirement. Yeah, it's good stuff, right? Okay, let's look at something else here. Why waiting time to get even into a property, into a self-managed super fund? Look at what the cost can be. And of course, we're in the business of helping people invest in property, and it makes sense that we would want to have people start with us to help them. But again, if we talk about return on investment, the small amount of money that people pay us to make millions of dollars and rental income, of course, we've got to work through the numbers. It's so worth it for the people that can benefit. That's why I just want people to really understand the value in this. Let's look at this. Someone goes and buys a $550,000 property at the time of purchase. They've got $29,000 in rent, and the property will be worth $1.7 million in 15 years, right? Now, at the tail end of the years that they've got the property, if they wait 1 year at the other end, they'll lose $128,000 in growth. If they wait 2 years, they lose $248,000 in growth. If they wait 3 years, almost $360,000 in growth at the other end, right? Now, I get it. Life's busy. You've got things to do, which I know most generally it's fear. I'm going to talk to you in a moment about what we can do to overcome this chatter so we can get on this journey to building wealth for your retirement sooner and faster with more confidence for the right people, and it's qualified and the numbers are done with the accountants and everything's done properly. But please, if you've got a story running saying, oh, we've got time, we'll put it off till the gate's fixed and after we get back from overseas and when I get that pay rise and, you know, when the kids are, you know, back at school or whatever it is, please consider the only person you're ripping off is yourself. No one else. Not me, not them, not your neighbor, you and your family. Yeah? Okay. I hope you get the importance of this. Serious stuff, right? But also really good stuff for just doing a few little things up at the front to make it happen. And as I like to say, we can do this together. We just went through the numbers. That's as hard as it gets today on the numbers. That's easy. We can help you. Don't worry about the numbers. We love the numbers. We'll help you make the numbers. The most important thing is what we can do together, and I'll go through with you in a moment, is figuring out if this is right for you, getting some numbers together to give to the accountant so we can then decide if this is the journey that you want to go on. I'm back. Had to have a little break then. It was really hot in here, but maybe it's all the energy and passion for this cool topic that we're talking about, helping you get rich. Yeah? Okay, let's move on. The 5 steps to setting up and reaching your self-managed super fund property investment goals. Would you like to know what those 5 steps are? Just to break down where one starts and what happens at each stage, just to make this a really simple, easy and fun process. Yes, Trevor? All right, let's have a look. The first place is that we want to start is we just want to clarify if this is going to be suitable and go through the setup stage. Now, just real simply, we look at discussing the figures, get a little plan going, have a little talk about the goals, and then if we get to the point where you've either got a fund set up or we help you set up the fund or your accountant does, then we go to work to finding the properties and getting to know what that's going to be to achieve your goals. Talk to the accountant, our accountant, broker, your broker, our broker. And then what's going to happen is all that's going to be in motion as the fund's getting set up. If we're setting up the fund or if it's already set up, great. And then, excuse me, itchy nose here. Then what we want to do is, if you've got your funds an employer fund, once I've got my own super fund, I've done all of this. I know it. I've done it. I know how it works. And once your fund's set up, your funds can you can keep them in your employer super fund if you want. And I think you changed the name. I rolled mine over and I decided to take my money, invest my money as I wanted to. And then what happens is my employer at the time would contribute super into my super fund. And then what I did, I was investing into shares at the time and I would just buy blue chip shares. That's what I did. Not here to give you advice. That's just what I did for my strategy. And your accountant will go through that, or our accountant. But what we'll do here is we'll start the discussion and just go through that if you want to ever talk. And I'll share with you how you can do that in a moment. And then what's going to happen when you're setting it up, the ATO is going to call you because they want to make sure people are not doing something that they don't understand, because they want to make sure that your money's protected, your super money that you've worked hard for. They want to make sure you know what you're doing. So you'll get a call from them. And once they're happy that you know what you're doing, they, I think, also get involved with approving that it's rolled over. I'm not a huge expert on that part. I can't remember because mine was done quite a while ago. But anyway, the accountant can help you understand those steps. But that's step 1, yeah? Step 1. And that would be the easiest place to start, of course. And then step 2 is we go find you the property. We go find you the property that delivers on the plan. If you're wanting $210,000 a year income coming off your self-managed super fund property in the next 15 to 20 years with good capital growth, it's going to be worth a couple of million. It's our job to go find you that property. Or if you want, you can go find it yourself. It's up to you. That's got good capital growth, good rental income. It's managed well, and you take care of it and you love it, because this is your money-making machine, and it's going to help fund your retirement when you're traveling and playing golf, or just at home drinking the coffee and thinking, wow, I'm so happy that we did this. This is what is paying you to have that lifestyle. Yeah. So you want to love it and take care of it. Here is what happens with the self-managed super fund bank stage. So as part of this, a bank account gets set up. So for me, I have my own self-managed super fund bank account with CBA. And what happens is all my rental income and employee contribution goes into that account, and all the loan payments and expenses come out of that account. So it's all tracked. And then what happens is we then each year, my accountant contacts me and says, Trevor, it's time to order your fund. I actually give him access to my account statements. He goes and accesses the statements, and my share account. He gets the statements and he does his audit. of the income and expenses. If there's any, it submits the tax return, and if there's any refund coming, that's put into my super fund. Yeah. So, and if there's anything to pay, sometimes because I haven't had property, I've gone and had to pay a little bit of tax because I didn't have the benefits at the time of the property. But the way we look at the numbers is we always want the income and the contribution from the property to cover all expenses. So it's actually paying itself down, and including the tax, which we will go through the numbers if and when we ever speak. Yeah. But that's that stage. And then this stage, for all your good work, is you get to celebrate. Come approved retirement age, where you can slowly access the money while you're still working. That's all in the guide of those tiered years, to when you have full access to access your rental income and go start enjoying your retirement. You've done the work. You've built the income. This is what you've done to create that retirement income. How will that feel? Good, right? What will you do? How will you celebrate? Because you did the work up front and you took the journey and you invested in yourself by putting a bit of money and time down to do this, how worth it is at this end. Yeah, that's the payoff. Not letting the mind stop you here and I will get to it later. This is what successful, wealthy people do. They do what feels a bit uncomfortable, but they invest the time, they invest a bit of money, and they learn and they follow a process. And that's a really simple, easy starting process. If you're new to this, or even if you're experienced at this, to what you can do to build wealth through self-managed super fund property investing. All right, let's move on. I've got a little bit more for you, and it's good though, right? This is helpful stuff. I mean, seriously, imagine if we taught this at school. How good would that be? And as it says here, remember, any journey starts with one step. One step. Yeah, so we go back here. If we just go to the first step and have a chat, do the numbers. We don't have to do all the steps. Just one step, okay? That's the hardest for most people, is making the call, booking the time, not letting their mind distract them. Oh, I've got to go away, I've got to cancel. We have people that this can benefit, and they just keep cancelling, putting it off. And you know what? They think they're putting us off because they think they're going to pay us a bit of money. They're actually putting off their financial freedom is what they're really putting off. But that's okay. That's their journey. I'm sure we'll help them when the time's right. But for you, who's smart and savvy in getting this, not you, right? You are an action taker. Now, let's have a look at what's helpful to know to become a wealthy and successful self-managed super fund property investor. What are the don'ts? And again, it's all in this guide. This is today, just give you the big picture. What are the don'ts? The don'ts are, don't put off your own financial freedom because of fear. Because of the chatter, don't put it off because it's just chatter. It's not real. It's just trying to protect you because of something you don't know how to do yet. Okay, that's what fear. Standing on the edge of a cliff on a windy day is something to be afraid of. But having a chat to someone, learning a bit more about money, what you can do, it's not a real fear. You'll go to bed at night, you'll watch a Netflix show, you'll get up tomorrow. There's nothing really bad's going to happen, right? One step at a time. Don't ask people who don't have self-managed super fund experience for advice. Yeah? Pretty simple, but very often not so simple. Because we speak to people like, oh, I spoke to my brother and, he said it's not a good thing. And we said, well, has he ever built money, invested in property in a fund? Oh, no, but, So, I mean, seriously, go to people, whether it's us or whoever, go to people who can give you the right advice, yeah? Don't set up a self-managed super fund until you have at least 100K, would be my recommendation, suggestion. Yeah, not giving advice, up to you, but really to make the numbers work. If we meet and talk, we'll show you, but you really need about 100 or more to really make this work and get started, yeah? Don't rent the property to a relative or live in it. It's an investment, it's held in the fund, and it is not a house to live in by you or relatives. You must have arm's length from the asset, and it must be rented as an investment property. Yeah? Don't use the money in your self-managed super fund for personal reasons. It is your money, just not yet. It's not your money yet. It's paid under government law into a fund to help put away and be grown for your financial freedom in the future. So you don't have to rely on government benefits, but you can fund your own retirement or partly fund your own retirement. That's what they want for you. So you don't touch it. It's only for the investment. You can touch it for the investment in and out, but not to go shopping with, okay? Don't invest in a property unless it's for the long term. Investing in self-managed super fund properties, like any property I've learned over the years, unless you're a property trader, you want to invest for the long term. I think, as I've learned over the years with the properties I've purchased, if you don't get anything from this, and from very successful friends that I know that have a lot more money than me, they just buy and hold property. They buy good houses, good townhouses, they take care of them, they pay down the debt, they rent them out, they house people, they take care of their tenants, and they hold them for the long term. Don't believe this money you have in super is not important. This money is your money. It's not fake money. It's not pretend money. It's important money. You are working hard to make this money, so make it work for you. All right, let's look at the do's. You do need to be employed, and you do need to be receiving employer contribution to make this work. Yeah, you do need to get familiar with self-managed super fund property investing like you are in this presentation. And again, I'll share with you in a moment how to get this guide, but you will learn a lot reading this guide and from this presentation in what has it been like, not quite an hour. You'll know probably more from this presentation than what most people ever will. On that, if this is a benefit to anyone you know, please forward and share it. Let's share the love and knowledge, because I believe it's knowledge and education that will free us in the world. Yeah? Okay. Do speak with people who get self-managed super fund property investing. You can talk to us, you can talk to your accountant, but people who have your best interest at heart, not to get a commission on something, not to misguide you, but to at least give you all your options and to know the numbers. Well, we'll go through the numbers with you. We're not giving you the financial advice. You should at least know the numbers. And I'll share with you in a moment a way that I can send something to you to have the numbers, but you've got to have the basic understanding. But a lot of what we're covering here is a big part of it, right? But again, we can talk about that. What else? Do know ASIC, ATO, and your accountants need to advise you on the risk. If you're going to be contacted by ATO, if with ASIC having 500,000 as a minimum starting amount, or your accountant saying you need to know the risks, they are doing their job to protect you, but you are not an idiot. You are smart, you are capable, you are able to read and learn. And this is not much different to just buying a property in your own name. You're just setting up a fund, and the fund's buying it, and you've got to manage it responsibly. You've got to do what we're telling you to do here. Excuse me, I don't mean to belittle anyone in this way I'm speaking, but it's not that hard. If you can run a bank account, if you know how to withdraw and receive money, you can do this, yeah? And we can help you further where needed. It's your money. It's not your employer's money. It's not the super fund's money, and it's not the government's money. It's your money. Your money in the super fund is your money. Got it? Do start and invest the time and energy now. In other words, instead of waiting, start now, even when you don't know all the answers, even when you don't know all the ways, right? You don't get fit to go to the gym. You go to the gym to get fit. You get there, it's like, oh God, how do I do this machine? And then you start going more, and you get a PT and they help you, and you get fitter and fitter. You don't go, I'll get fit and then I'll go. It's the same here. Get the basics, have a basic workout plan, have a basic goal, and then we get started, and you learn as you go. That's how we learn anything. And then the fear will dissipate. Is it a straight line journey? No, it's not. Are there challenges? Yes, there are. It's a bit emotional, but what do they say? The bigger the reward, the bigger the effort up front mentally very often. The less reward, yeah, put it in a fund, get 2 to 5%, don't have to do anything, and that's what you'll get because you don't put any energy into it. But if you put more energy and time into it, that's how you get a larger return, and that's what we do here, yeah? But once it's set up, it does do a lot of it itself, all right? You have the money and freedom to relax later by doing it now, yeah? That's another very important do. Do start and invest the time and energy now if this is right for you. And you do have the money and freedom later. Yeah, later, not now, later. Yeah, all right. Why many who could benefit from self-managed super fund property investing will never even start. Fear of the unknown, staying comfortably uncomfortable. Say no more. Don't believe their superannuation money is important. Don't know they have options. The accountant, the ATO, ASIC focus on risk, so they believe it's all risk, and they go, oh, too scary, can't do it, so they do nothing. Never taught how to use and invest in a self-managed super fund. Not anymore though, right? That's changing. Too hard, easy to just leave it to the supposed experts. I'll just leave it there, don't want to look at it, I just want to watch Netflix and go to the beach and hang with the kids and eat cook dinner, yeah? Don't worry, they worry about making the wrong decision, right? They worry about, oh, what if I get it wrong? It's better to do nothing, yeah? Think it's too late or they don't have enough in their super to even start. Financial planners can't propose property as an investment. So very often this happens with financial planners because people go to them for advice, but not all planners are able to advise on property because they can't under their license. So they're restricted in being able to talk about property, which very often can mean that someone who could benefit from property as part of their strategy doesn't get that opportunity to know. No disrespect to planners. They do amazing work. I have a financial planner for many reasons. However, it's important to know that some things you may need to do outside of your planner, and if it's a good planner, they'll support you in that. They understand the ultimate reason why they have you as a client is for your long-term benefit, yeah, not theirs. All right. Think they're not smart enough to do this. Very often people think they're not smart enough, that they can't do it. Well, I'm telling you, you can. You are smart enough. It's just learning a new, different way of thinking, opening your mind, being willing to, I can learn this. If I've learned how to do a job, read a book, ride a bike, you can learn how to do this. Just get the help, be patient, and you can do it. Yeah. They've heard a story about a super fund property investment going wrong, so they think it's all wrong. Easier to just ignore it. It's gone wrong. What? Don't bother. It's all bad. It's a bit like someone buying shares by getting advice off an Uber driver, and they think all share investing is bad, right? It's a very limited perspective on the fundamentals of good investing. Family, friends, and colleagues don't talk about. Talk you out of it. They say, oh, don't do it. We can't, we don't do it. We don't know about it. Don't do it. But I'll tell you something about smart investing from people that I know are very successful, and where I've been successful is we generally do things that the masses don't do. It's always doing those little things differently that actually gets a better result because it feels emotionally a little bit more challenging, and that's why most people don't do it. Most people don't want to be uncomfortable. They just want to put their head down, go to work, come home, not think about it. And I don't want to be disrespectful to people because I know life is full on, but this is worth it for your future, and we can help you. You've got people around you that we can make this easier and just start. Yeah. All right. Simply not ideal for some people. The reality is this is not for everyone. This is not for everyone because some people don't have the discipline to manage their money, not touch it. They'll see $60,000 sitting in their super fund and they'll go spend it. That's not for them. This is for people who get the discipline that comes with money, managing money in a self-managed super fund. Okay? All right. Let's move on and believe they have plenty of time. Yeah, sorry. So they believe I'll put it off and I'll get to it later. And I'll tell you why this really impacted me when I was writing this was, if you're on Facebook, have you ever gotten a memory that's come up and it's like 8 years ago, 12 years ago, 15 years ago, and you think, holy hell, that was 15 years ago? Time flies, guys. It goes quicker than I can imagine. I'm sure you can relate. You might be watching this and you're 30. You might be watching this if you're 50, whatever. Time flies. Don't let fear stop you into believing that you've got time, because you can benefit so beautifully by a few months of just being a bit uncomfortable and learning and setting things up to have a much more financially free future than thinking I'll put it off, where you just go and do everything and avoid it to only pay the cost later. And we don't want that, right? We don't want that. All right, let's reflect. I hope you found this helpful. Yes. Informative. Very good. Can you see what's possible? And why are you so able to do this? Why are you so able to make this happen for you? And how good's that Trevor fella? He's pretty good, right? Just having a bit of fun. But this is possible. And you can learn. Now let's have a look at what we can do to get a plan going. Yeah, let's do it. All right. What can you do now to start working towards building, actually, to start working towards knowing if this is right for you? You don't have to start. This can be an opportunity to open the door to find out if building your happier, healthier, financially free retirement and self-managed super fund is right for you by following these few suggestions that I've laid out for you. One is high five yourself, because what we've covered is quite a bit, went a bit longer than I imagined, but high five yourself if you're still here, because this is important stuff, right? It's good stuff, but it's important. It's a bit uncomfortable, but people will go spend 30 grand and 3 years to do their MBA. But, what about just investing a bit of time and a bit of your money to build 5, 6 figure incomes in the future for your retirement? So well done for being here. Book yourself in a self-managed super fund review and plan session. You can do that with us. My email's here. You can shoot me an email, book in with one of us to just have a chat about the numbers. We're not giving financial advice. I'm going to give you the things we'll need in a moment. But what do you got? What do you want to do? We'll break down the numbers and we'll give it to you. And then you can go away. So yeah, email me and we'll make a time to have a chat. And I'll get you a copy of after we meet, I'll get you a copy of the free guide, because there's things in that guide I want to explain to you when we catch up, if we catch up. And I'll also give you a copy of the Property Investment Income Incubator after we've met to explain to you how it works. As opposed to just sending it to you, most people won't look at it. But after we find people look at it, because it makes a lot more sense and is a lot more valuable to them, right? And then what you can do is, from the numbers we give you, you can go speak to your partner, your accountant, or whoever you want to talk to and check if it's all good. And then if you decide that you want to engage our services to help you find the property, set up your fund, go set up the loan, do all that for you, we can do all of that for you. But I just think for now, I just want to get a chat going and just get to know each other and just see if and how this is going to be a benefit to you. Just start there. Yeah. Now, what can you do for when you reach out to us is a few things. Have a little chat to each other and think, why is this important to us? Why would we be willing to invest a bit of time to do this? And put these down, because it's the why that's going to motivate you, right? Not, we don't have time and my job's a bit stressful at the moment. Screw that. This is you. This is most importantly for you, right? And then how much do you have in super? As I said, combined or individually, I would highly recommend, if we're going to speak, you want to have at least $100,000 or more in your employee super fund. If you already have a self-managed super fund and you've got 100K or more in there, then we can also talk about helping find, investment properties for you within the fund. Yeah. All right. What else? How much is your gross annual income or incomes? Because we need to know that to just do some of your projections. And how much income do you want to have in retirement? Don't worry about figuring it out. Don't worry about the how. Just say, all right, if we had 150,000 rental income coming in, debt-free off our property investments in the next however many years, what would that be? We'll figure it out for you and we'll tell you whether you can do it or not. But what if you even had 90K? Or what if you wanted to make 250K and it was 190K? A good something is better than a whole lot of nothing, right? So put that down and then let's have a chat. Let's dare to do some planning and figuring it out. And how much do you want to have in your property asset worth? Because that's also important too. If you're sitting on $3-4 million in property assets and you sell one off in retirement, and after you pay out the agent, you got a couple of million sitting in your bank account, like a client we were speaking to the other day. With what we mapped out, they will sell their home. They're going to downsize to a nice 2-bedroom apartment in the Gold Coast. And with the properties that they're going to purchase, I'll have about 130K rental income coming in, debt-free, right? And all they have at the moment is a house and some cash in the bank, but we've mapped it out They've got 15, 17 years to do it, but it's now that we map it out, right? That's the difference. So do some dreaming, figure it out, all right? And then have a think about how will you feel when you've achieved your retirement wealth goal. What would that be like? Yeah, what will you do? Where will you go? How will you celebrate? Yeah, that's important to keep you motivated. All right, so keep an eye, put those down, put those numbers down, shoot me an email. We'll organize a time to have a chat with me or one of my colleagues, and let's get a talk going. Okay. Now, what can we do for you? Very important, very important. What we can do is we can do that session with you, that review and plan session, run the numbers. We do it all day, every day. We know what we're doing to project the numbers. The accountant will have to qualify it, but at least you've got a starting point as opposed to going in there and go, I want to invest in property and make income, but I have no idea. And if your accountant can do the numbers, great, but we love doing it just so you've got a starting point to qualify, right? We'll walk through the numbers and then we'll share with you how our services work, whether it's to set up the fund, whether it's to buy the property, to do the loan, rent the property out. We can do all of it, or we can focus on just finding you the property and you can use your account, your broker. Up to you, no pressure. Yeah. So all that good stuff there we can do for you, right? I'll get you a copy of How to Build Your Self-Managed Super Fund Retirement Income Guide and your Property Investment Income Incubator after we have a chat, because it'll make more sense. And then from there, you can decide how we can help you, whether you want to come and join us and pay us. I'll go through our fees with you. Like I said, it's no 20,000 or anything like that. We work to make it a really good return on investment. But look, even, some of our clients, depending on which package you're paying us, I don't know, 12,000 or something, we go help you buy, the right property, and you're sitting on a $2.2 million property with 180K income with one of our clients. I mean, it's saving you time and you're becoming a multi-millionaire, right? So worth it, I think. But let's start at the beginning. And then from there, if you decide that you want to work with us, and we go to work and find you that first property, and then that's property number one done. And that's generally, like most things in life, the first one's always the hardest because that's where you do the most learning. I remember the first property I purchased, it took me months and months, all the research I did and all the numbers, and I decided to buy my first property, which was an investment in Footscray in Melbourne, and I would fly down there every other weekend, and I eventually got that property. But then the second property I purchased, I had one look at it, and I think the decision was made in about 3 weeks from looking and buying. So it's amazing when we get more confident how fast the things get. So believe in yourself. We got your back. You got people around you, and let's, at least nothing else, discover if this is going to be suitable for you and what your options are. And then also, this is just a kind of a screenshot of the income incubator, and there's a whole lot of other calculations down the bottom where we can put in your super income expenses and get the real rate of return on your employer fund too. We can punch all that in, and we can do the comparisons, right? All right, let's wrap this up. It's been a big session, and I'll close up by saying, I'll close up by asking, how will you feel for all that we've done here, and we go to work and do it, and you have the income coming in while you enjoy your retirement? How nice would that be? Whatever the amount is, 80,000, 100, 200, whatever it is, a good income received is better than the perfect income never received. True or true? I'll wrap up by telling you very quickly. I had a bit of a funny slide I wanted to show you there. Oh, well, next time. Who am I? Trevor Russell. Very quickly, I'm the director of the Results Investment Group. I've got 22 years in property finance and investment industry. I've had a broker business twice, helped hundreds of clients to buy and invest in property and do developments, do self-managed super fund finance. I have a company I'm aligned with now. We help people buy property in super funds, source the right property, set the fund up. I have a diploma in finance and mortgage management. I've got a degree in business, real estate agent license. Only to show you that I've done some education, not just some monkey off the street, although I do jump around like a monkey a little bit now and then. We're really passionate about helping people in this area, and I live with my partner, Marie, my fiance now. gonna say fiance, and my little dog Johnny in the Gold Coast, and I love potato chips when no one's looking. But on a very serious note, as we go out of this presentation, I am very passionate about helping people understand how to use the super fund to build more wealth. I have someone very close to me who made some less than good decisions with their retirement, and I've seen the cost that's come to people that don't do this in a way that they could do it. And if I can help in any way to make things better for your and your family financial future, me and my colleagues, I'm very passionate about it because I call it the sleep test. If you can go to sleep at night and know that you have a plan in place that's going to help you have financial freedom and income, whatever that amount is, a good bit of something or all the way to the goal, I really want that for people. And yes, we're a business. Yes, we have fees and charges for what we do, but we can always talk about that. And most importantly, the plan to decide if and how we can be of service to you. Thank you so much for watching, and maybe we'll get to chat one day in the future. Here's to a happy, healthy, abundantly rich retirement for you and your family. Speak soon. Can't wait to chat. Bye.